Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. If you are completely new here, I'm Jamie. This will be a reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. If you're completely new to tarot, just know that not every Scorpio reading is going to resonate with you, and that's okay. Only take the reading if it's yours. If you feel like the reader's wrong or maybe it's not your story, just don't take that reading. It's for someone else. We'll also have to disregard gender. I'm going to pull cards like King, Queen, Emperor, Empress. I'm not talking about a man or a woman. Those describe really specific personality traits. If you want to get notified when I post more readings, you can subscribe to the channel. I also offer a membership, so if you want to check that out, you can click the join button. It'll just show you the membership tab so you can check out all the little perks. So I do have some energies already pulled here. That'll make sense in a minute. I have a win-win outcome is forecast, full moon in Libra, and prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. So on the 12th of April, because that's what we're doing in April overview here, on the 12th of April, there's a full moon in Libra. So this is kind of like a damage control moon. Things could get a little emotional, but it kind of has to happen so that, you know, the people that you have interpersonal relationships with, you kind of understand each other better and you can harmonize relationships. So you can look for, or you can be prepared for, rather, some heightened emotions, maybe some relationship drama, but also some romance, some fertilization, and obviously the outcome of all of the emotional overdrive is to harmonize relationships. So it's kind of like going in a little rough and coming out much better as far as relationships go, especially romantic ones. At the same time, though, this is a very fertile energy, so beware of that. On the 19th, the Sun will enter Taurus, and everything stops going retrograde. Everything is just going to feel like so calm and relaxed all of a sudden, very earthy. And I think that we're really going to need that. So you'll definitely feel a lot more patient and you'll be more productive in that time. It's a little ways ahead. We're still in that Aries energy until then, but it will be really nice. And then on the 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus. And so we're going to be thinking about the future. And obviously on a very earthly, material, practical level, like 401ks, life insurance, death insurance, health insurance, whatever. Like all of these things that you're going to need. And you're going to really want to start setting that stuff up. So there'll be a lot of like prioritizing during that time. But again, it'll be very practical. But there'll be this push to make sure that you're all set up in the future. And on the 30th, Venus will enter Aries. And, well, we're talking like carnal desire, like baby making type of energy. So again, a month to be very careful as far as fertility goes. So I think that the end of March is pretty tricky, but moving into April, things will start to shift and get a little better. And by the time that April is ending, I think everything's kind of smoothed out and we're actually future planning and not paying attention to the past or just straight up the present and what we can do about the future in that time and taking things steady. So two kind of polar opposite energies, but let's pull a spread and kind of talk about all the different aspects and how you may see this go down. So the overall energy to the spread is the Nine of Swords. The desired outcome is the Ace of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups. At the bottom of the deck was the Knight of Swords. This is what I'm talking about when I say, like, things are not, like, we're not entering April in this cute energy at all. I think that actually there's some heightened emotions and some relationship drama going on for y'all. There seems to be, like, this energy. This is kind of weird, you know, but moving into April, starting April, okay? There is this energy of not really being able to sleep, being kind of really worried about someone. I feel like there's hope that's left, you know, because this, like, look at this card. The beautiful Pandora and her fucking box. And the only thing left in that bitch is hope, which is a dangerous thing. There's a relationship here that you've been very confused about. I think that you're aware that someone has lots of options, but, like, you're not really sure, like, where the hell you stand with them, or, like, what they even want from you. I think that this thing has been pretty on and off, and pretty, as of late, flighty. Like, this person's flighty. They're kind of impulsive. Like, they could be around and then all of a sudden not, and then be around, and it seems like, you know, you're just always on your toes with them and you can't figure out where you're at. You will see some balance coming in this. It may not be the way that you want, though, right? Like, I feel like you want the truth, and I don't think it's going to need to be presented to you. I just feel like at this point in time, you're going to start coming out of this. I don't want to say delusional, because that sounds crazy. Delusional is, like, far later, but, like, this hope that someone will act right or, like, come back around. I feel like you're going to stop really worrying about it. And the reason for this is because, well, by the end of the month, you know, it's warm outside. People are, like, you know, in next to nothing, you know. There's cookouts, there's parties, like, there's shit to do, you know? I don't feel like it feels like that right now. Like, you may not believe me that you may be sort of, like, shaking a person off and kind of going out more and like, you know, just being a little more distracted. Maybe this person has been playing games for, like, a minute, you know, and yeah, you're emotional. But I think it's more mental at this point, right? Because we're talking swords. You may stop really worrying about this person or thinking about it. Like, you're just going to kind of see them for what they are, a wild card. That's, I think, how you kind of see them. Like, you can never predict a pattern with them. You know, it's not, like, really like a safe person, though, I want to say. And feel like, you know, even as the new moon is starting to come around, you're going to be, like, thinking about the future. And realistically, though, you know, how would I have a future with a person that I can't put my finger on? You know, I I can't even tell you who this person is. They're like 10 different people a week. They're all over the place. You know, I can't live like this. And deciding it's nice outside, I think I'll get cute and go out. It could just be like that simple when it comes to romance this month. I think throughout the winter months, you've really been sort of, like, I want to say, depressed over a breakup, or, like, you know, really trying to get past something here that's been maybe a little addictive, maybe a little obsessive. And you're going to completely shake the energy now. Now, when it comes to money, I feel like you're worried about money. Okay. Some of you are really trying to look into different ways to make money, maybe like a side job or something like that with the Ace of Pentacles. I do feel like you will actually hear back this month, specifically. I feel like, you know, around the time, like, There's a lot of different opportunities that you can take, but someone's going to really stand out. And I feel like this will be closer to, like, after the sun moves into Taurus, because it's just because this King of Pentacles energy is here, I feel like that's when you're going to hear back. And it's like an option that you really want. And things are going to move really fast after that, though. When it comes to, like, side money or making more money, maybe through the winter, like your job doesn't have a lot of hours and all of a sudden it started to pick up. Maybe, who knows, you do like construction or like labor work or something, and like now it's going to start to pick back up. So, and towards the end of the month, you can make clearer decisions about, what your next move is because, you're not in this state of like panic or fear that you've been in for a minute now. I think that money has been pretty rough for a lot of you over the last season. I say winter, but I'm in America. So, it depends where you're at. But over those last couple of months, I think that money has been a little stressed or strained, which also could be another, aspect with like the relationship. It's like too much time on your hand, not enough money in the bank account, going through a breakup. Like that shit can really like fuck you up emotionally over time. I just see you coming completely out of that. It's like finally there's opportunities coming, there's more money flowing in. It's the shift I think you've been waiting for. Yeah. When it comes to your like more interpersonal relationships, this would be, obviously with friends, family, and for some of you even like business partners or colleagues. I think that those relationships have actually been kind of stressed or strained. You may worry too much about what people think about you. You like low-key want to impress people. And I don't mean this in like a doing something shiny or something, it's like you just kind of want to stand out a little bit. I think you do naturally impress people. I think that it's just saying maybe you're like a little insecure with it, like you care too much to about like how maybe other people like think or like would talk about you, And there could be like a shift in that too. I just feel like I feel like there could be like certain family members and like close friends where like all of that is a combination where that itself is just stressful. Like all of those relationships are pretty tense. It's like different people with different kinds of opinions from different generations from, and I think that like when and like there is kind of like this holiday coming up, right? For those of you who partake in Easter or whatever. Well, I guess there's several religious. Anyway, if you were about to observe a religious holiday, you're probably about to deal with family. And outside of the food, I think that shit sucks for you. Like you could just have like a lot of like tension. Like, you could even be like the sort of like scapegoat of the family, and you're like confused about like what the hell even goes on the whole time you're there. I just feel like I'm kind of getting just like difficult people. It's not like terrible. You may love them all each individually, but when you get them all together, like it's just difficult. And that's happening. It's like I think there's one person in particular who really doesn't know how to like behave or watch their mouth, especially if they have like a couple of drinks or something. Like they just are too much. And I don't even think it's personal. I think they get on like everybody, like they're just overly opinionated or something. And I feel like that I think it's it's something you may be kind of used to dealing with, so it's something that you're worrying about. And I see like all that tension sort of like ceasing, like this actually might be like a really kind of chill like get together, I feel like you're worried specifically in the family about one person. It could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn person. Like I said, they might just be a little too much with their opinions or like what they say, they could be like real old school and like they just don't think before they speak, and I wouldn't even react to it. Like I said, I think this person has like a couple of drinks and just it doesn't hold back, it just doesn't mean anything. I feel like this is, who they are or whatever. But I think actually they're going to be preoccupied with something else. Like something else is going to be happening, and like they're going to be distracted and their attention will be elsewhere. So I feel like, I also don't know why I'm getting this, but there could be like a Libra or a Taurus in your family who like, they could be like getting married or like having a baby or something, and like that has this person totally distracted. That's their go-to to talk about. So you don't have to worry about shit. Like I think you're just gonna be chilling for whatever this is, But I don't feel like there's actual tension between you and individuals. I just feel like the situation with all of them together is really tense, especially between some earth sign and some air sign. Like there is tension. Like it's very, it looks tense. Let's just say that. And you don't really have to worry about it. I don't think anybody's gonna be paying attention to you. You can just like eat you some sandwiches and some chips and like, fuck off over there, and nobody's even gonna mind you at all, and perfect. Now, what I would take for the month as advice is, the things that you're worrying about, because this energy will shift, Now, it's not for several weeks from probably when you're seeing this, about 2 weeks before you really feel like a nice energy shift, and it seems like life is picking back up and there is actually some damage control in all aspects. The things that you've really worried about, like, let's talk about it, right? Like if you had a rough winter monetarily, okay? Don't just take that and be like, okay, I'm good now, so we're good. No, you need to remember that last winter you were fucked up, right? And that that means there needs to be a plan next winter before winter happens, There's like something about what you've been constantly worried about. Making sure that you really note what was going on there so that it can be fixed in the future. Some failures, like especially monetarily. And I think when it comes to romantic relationships, sometimes they can be stressful. I don't think this is stressful anymore. I think that this should just be considered over. I think you're kind of there too. It's like in the winter, you're not really going out much. It's not like you're going to go out and meet a bunch of people usually, depending on where you live. I know where I'm at, like, you ain't going nowhere. You're snowed in. It's just not, the same vibe, and I think things are really shifting for that. So I think that you're leaving behind, like, a romantic relationship that ended some time back. Like, actually leaving it behind, though. So I wouldn't really worry about that. Tension with, other people, I really do feel like that shift from the moon is going to change a lot of the relationships in a more positive way. Again, there are like really good things that are happening outside of you that will have these people sort of distracted, which gives you room, because I think that these people might be like usually really hypercritical of you, like they're always on your ass and paying attention to what you're doing. So I think you have space to kind of just do whatever you want to do here. Some of you need to get really like creative about how to make money in your off time, I don't know why I'm picking that up. Like, like you could do this in your off time. It doesn't have to be tarot, but you could have like some kind of channel or just like some kind of side hustle, outside of your regular job, so that you have a savings, so that you have something going on. There's something like where it's saying like, pay attention to the things that you've really been worried about. Especially when it does come to romance. Like if somebody really like broke your heart like 4, 5, 6 months ago, and you've been ruminating on that, remember like, when you're meeting new people, like what you will and won't tolerate, what you need to have boundaries with, to remember what they're talking about and really hear what they're saying without idealizing anything, like those real like hard lessons that you had to learn from whatever that relationship was before just getting into something new. Because remember, at the end of the month, that energy is going to be Yeah. Temptation. So I think you need to be really wise when it comes to choosing anything romantically, for sure. And definitely basing that off of some type of past situation that was very like impulsive and back and forth and up and down and in and out and all over the place. You don't want that. At least not here, you don't. I think there'll be somebody entering your life, but I feel like the thing here with it is that you may have several options, and you need to think about this the most like practical and logical way. It may not be the best looking one. It may not be the one that appears to have the most money. Don't ever get played with that bullshit. It's going to be the one who keeps showing up and keeps trying to have something to do with you, is obviously choosing you out of all of their options. I think it'll be pretty apparent, just somebody you don't really have to chase. They'll just kind of like naturally want to hang out and do stuff. It should feel kind of like you're just kicking it with a friend all the time. That's the energy that I get with the King of Pentacles, Make sure to vet people. You don't want to just deal with anyone out of temptation towards the end of the month. And I mean this in like a temptation and distraction. Oh, I'm so tired of just like still thinking about this person every day. I'm about to just go do this. Sometimes that just turns into another situation like the last one, The intention wasn't right to begin with. So be careful, especially when it's fertility season, with like what you're out here choosing to really do over the course of the next month. And make sure you're setting yourself up financially the correct way. Like this is going to be the season to, start a side hustle, to get extra hours, to do it. And you're going to be really planning these things too, because again, the new moon in Taurus is going to have you really thinking about your future, how much money you need to save, the type of benefits that you need from a job, etc., etc. So I think for everybody, it's just like the month is starting off super tense and then just kind of balancing itself out. There's not really anything major to be aware of that I see here, except what you choose financially, benefit-wise, right? Hour-wise, relationship-wise, and like what you're giving your energy to. So be careful this month. At the same time, though, I feel like there's going to be a lot of wins. Like if you apply to jobs, you will hear back from them. If you start a new business, it will move, It's just that season. So I hope you're ready. When it comes to a partner, make sure you choose the right hoe. It's going to be the one that wants to hang out all the time or take you out all the time. If or go out with you all the time. It doesn't have to be, because sometimes there's that reverse. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys soon.